Your nightlight will not save you. Your grab bar might not either. And that advice your doctor gave you last year about being more careful when you get up at night? That is the most useless medical guidance ever spoken out loud. Here is what nobody is telling you. The most dangerous moment of your entire day is not crossing the street. It is not climbing the stairs. It is not even driving in traffic. The most dangerous moment of your day happens at 2:47 inches the morning when your bladder wakes you up and you swing your legs off that mattress. A landmark study from the University of Michigan published in 2022 tracked over 3,400 adults aged 60 and older and monitored when and where their falls occurred. The results stunned the research team. 58% of all indoor falls among seniors happened during nighttime bathroom trips. Not during the day, not in the kitchen, not on the porch, in the dark, on the way to the toilet. And here is the part that should make you furious. The number one cause was not loose rugs, it was not dim lighting, it was not clutter on the floor, it was biology. A specific biological event happening inside your body that no one has warned you about. Orthopedic surgeons and emergency room physicians have known about this for decades, and yet the standard advice you receive from your primary care doctor is install a nightlight and be careful. Be careful. As if being careful can override what your circulatory system does to your brain when you stand up after lying horizontal for 4 hours. Today, I am going to reveal the exact 3-step protocol that trauma surgeons wish every single person over 60 knew before they ended up on an operating table with a shattered hip. This protocol takes less than 45 seconds. It costs nothing. You need zero equipment. And it directly addresses the biological mechanism that causes nighttime falls. Not the symptoms, the actual root cause. Before we begin, share with us in the comments now your age and where you are watching us from. Tell us, have you ever felt dizzy when getting up at night? We read and reply to every single comment, and your story could help someone else watching this video right now. Now let me explain the science. Because once you understand what is actually happening inside your body at 2 in the morning, you will never get out of bed the same way again. There is a medical condition called orthostatic hypotension. Orthostatic means related to standing up. Hypotension means low blood pressure. Put them together and you get a sudden, dangerous drop in blood pressure that occurs when you go from lying down to standing. And this is not some rare disease that affects a handful of people. A study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society in 2021 tested 1,100 adults over the age of 65. They found that 35% of them had measurable orthostatic hypotension, more than 1 in 3. That means if you are watching this video with your spouse right now, there is a very good chance at least one of you has this happening inside your body tonight. Here is the mechanism, and I want you to really understand this because it is the key to everything. When you lie down in bed, gravity is no longer pulling blood straight down into your legs. Your body is horizontal. Blood distributes relatively evenly. Your heart does not have to work hard to pump blood up to your brain because your brain is at the same level as your heart. Your body relaxes into this position, your heart rate slows, your blood vessels dilate slightly, everything is calm. Now your bladder wakes you up. You are groggy, disoriented, you swing your legs over the side and you stand up. In that instant, gravity grabs roughly 500 to 800 milliliters of blood and yanks it straight down into your lower extremities. That is almost a full liter of blood that was happily circulating through your brain just 2 seconds ago, now pooling in your legs and abdomen. Your brain suddenly loses its oxygen supply. In a young person, the body compensates almost instantly. The nervous system fires, blood vessels constrict, the heart rate increases, and blood pressure is restored in about 1 to 2 seconds. But after 60, this compensation system slows down dramatically. Your baroreceptors, the tiny sensors in your blood vessels that detect pressure changes, become sluggish. Your blood vessels lose their elasticity. Certain medications, especially blood pressure medications, diuretics, and sleep aids, make the problem even worse. So what happens? You stand up, blood drains from your brain. Your body takes 5, 8, sometimes 12 seconds to compensate. And during those seconds, your brain is starving for oxygen. You experience what doctors call a gray out. Your vision narrows, the room seems to tilt, your legs feel like they are made of rubber. You reach for something to hold on to, but you are in the dark and your hand grabs nothing but air. Then you hit the floor. A 2020 study from Johns Hopkins University examined 640 emergency room admissions for senior falls. Among nighttime falls, specifically, 71% of patients showed clinical signs of orthostatic hypotension when tested in the ER. 71%. The falls were not caused by clumsiness. They were not caused by poor eyesight alone. They were caused by brains that had no blood. And what does the mainstream medical system tell you? Install a nightlight. A nightlight, your brain has no oxygen, you are essentially blacking out on your feet, and the solution is a $4 plug-in shaped like a seashell. This is medical negligence disguised as helpful advice. Let me be very direct with you about what is at stake here, because I do not think most people truly understand it. According to the Centers for Disease Control, falls are the leading cause of injury death in Americans over 65. Not heart attacks at home, not strokes, falls. And hip fractures are the most devastating consequence. A study published in the Journal of Bone and Mineral Research in 2023 confirmed a statistic that every orthopedic surgeon knows by heart. Between 20 and 30% of seniors who fracture a hip die within 12 months, not from the break itself, from the cascade that follows. Immobility leads to pneumonia, pneumonia leads to sepsis, hospital stays lead to cognitive decline, surgery leads to blood clots, one fall, one single trip to the bathroom in the dark, and the dominoes start falling. This is why I get aggressive about this topic, because the solution exists. Surgeons know it. Researchers have published it. Physical therapists use it in rehabilitation clinics, but it has not reached you. Instead, you got a nightlight and a pamphlet. So here is the protocol. 3 steps, 45 seconds total. Memorize these tonight. When your bladder wakes you up, do not stand. I know your instinct is to jump out of bed. Your brain is screaming, go, go, go. The bladder is pressing. The urgency feels unbearable. Ignore it for 30 seconds. That is all I am asking. 30 seconds that could save your life. Swing your legs over the edge of the bed and sit upright on the side of the mattress. Plant both feet flat on the floor. Now here is the critical action. Begin pumping your ankles. Push your toes down toward the floor, then pull them up toward your shins. Down and up, down and up. Do this rhythmically, as if you were pressing a gas pedal over and over again. This simple movement activates what physiologists call the calf muscle pump, also known as the skeletal muscle pump or the venous pump. Your calf muscles, the gastrocnemius and soleus, wrap around the deep veins of your lower legs. Every time you contract these muscles, they physically squeeze those veins and push blood upward toward your heart and ultimately toward your brain. You are manually doing what your sluggish autonomic nervous system is too slow to do on its own. You are restoring blood pressure before you ever leave the mattress. A 2021 study published in the journal Clinical Autonomic Research tested this exact intervention. Researchers took 90 seniors with documented orthostatic hypotension and divided them into 2 groups. One group stood up immediately from a lying position. The other sat on the edge of the bed and performed 30 seconds of ankle pumps before standing. The group that pumped their ankles showed a 74% reduction in blood pressure drop upon standing. 74%. Their systolic blood pressure was an average of 18 millimeters of mercury higher when they finally stood compared to those who stood immediately. That is the difference between a stable walk to the bathroom and waking up on the floor with a broken femur. Perform at least 10 to 15 ankle pumps during those 30 seconds. You can also add gentle fist clenches at the same time. Squeezing your hands rhythmically helps constrict blood vessels in your upper body and provides an additional boost to blood pressure. Some physical therapists call this the double pump technique, and it is used in hospital settings to prevent falls when patients get out of bed after surgery. This is what surgeons know. This is what they teach their post-operative patients in the hospital. But somehow this information evaporates the moment you get discharged. Nobody tells you to keep doing this at home. Nobody tells you this should be a permanent part of your nighttime routine for the rest of your life. 30 seconds. Pump your ankles. Let the blood reach your brain. Do not stand until those 30 seconds are complete. This single step alone could prevent the majority of nighttime falls. But we are not stopping here. Before we continue, if you are finding value in this video, hit that like button so more seniors can see it and subscribe. We have powerful health tips coming every single day, and the next video could be the one that changes everything for you. You have pumped your ankles, your blood pressure is stabilized. Now you stand up, but do not walk yet. Stand beside your bed and wait 5 seconds. During these 5 seconds, I want you to do something very specific with your eyes. Do not look down at your feet. This goes against every instinct you have. When the room is dark and you feel uncertain, your brain screams at you to look down and watch where you are stepping. But this is a trap, and here is why. Your body maintains balance through 3 systems working together: your vestibular system in your inner ear, your proprioception, which is the feeling of where your joints and limbs are in space, and your vision. After 60, proprioception begins to decline significantly. The nerve endings in your feet and ankles that tell your brain where the ground is become less sensitive. A 2019 study from the University of Pittsburgh tested proprioceptive acuity in 500 adults across different age groups and found that adults over 65 had a 40% reduction in ankle proprioception compared to adults in their 30s. This means in the dark, with diminished proprioception, your brain is already working with degraded information from your feet. If you then look down at the floor, you rob yourself of the one system that still works well, your vision. Looking down destabilizes your head position, disrupts your vestibular system, and because you cannot see clearly in the dark anyway, provides almost no useful information. You have just knocked out all 3 balance systems simultaneously. Instead, look straight ahead and find a vertical line. A door frame is perfect. The edge of a dresser, a window frame, even a thin strip of light coming from under the bathroom door. This vertical reference gives your brain an anchor. Your visual system can detect, even in very low light, whether you are tilting relative to that vertical line. It is essentially giving your brain a plumb line, a reference for what upright means. Researchers at the Oregon Health and Science University published a study in 2020 examining the effect of visual anchoring on postural stability in seniors. Participants who fixated on a vertical reference point during low-light standing tests showed a 52% reduction in postural sway compared to those who looked at the ground or closed their eyes. 52% more stable simply by changing where they aimed their gaze. So stand up. Look at the door frame. Count 5 seconds. Let your balance systems calibrate. Then, and only then, begin walking. This brings us to the final step. You are upright, your blood pressure is restored, your eyes are anchored on a vertical line. Now you need to get to the bathroom, and how you walk in those next few steps matters more than you think. Do not walk the way you walk during the day. During the day, you walk with your feet relatively close together in a straight line. That is efficient, that is normal. That is also inherently unstable, and in the dark with compromised balance, it is an invitation to disaster. Instead, walk with your feet wider apart. Imagine you are walking along railroad tracks with one foot on each rail, instead of a tightrope with both feet on one line. Think of how a cowboy walks in an old western. Think of how a tank moves. Wide, stable, planted. Widen your base of support to roughly shoulder width. The physics here are straightforward and irrefutable. Your base of support is the area between your feet. The wider that base, the more your center of gravity can shift before it falls outside the boundary and you lose balance. A narrow stance gives you almost zero margin for error. A wide stance gives you inches of buffer on each side. A 2022 study published in Gait and Posture examined walking stability in 220 seniors under low light conditions. Participants who adopted a wider step width showed 61% fewer lateral balance corrections and 0 falls during the testing period. The narrow stance group experienced 7 falls during the same tests. But I want you to add one more element to this wide walk: the trailing hand. As you walk toward the bathroom, keep one hand lightly touching the wall, not gripping, not leaning, just maintaining gentle fingertip contact with the wall surface. This is not for physical support. This is for sensory information. Your fingertips contain some of the highest concentrations of mechanoreceptors in your entire body. By trailing your fingers along the wall, you are feeding your brain a constant stream of spatial data. Your brain now knows exactly where the wall is, which means it knows exactly where you are in the room. This supplemental sensory input compensates for the proprioceptive losses in your feet and the visual limitations of the dark. Physical therapists call this a sensory augmentation strategy, and it is used in vestibular rehabilitation clinics around the world. A 2021 study from the Mayo Clinic found that light fingertip contact with a stable surface reduced postural sway in seniors by 47%, an effect nearly as powerful as holding onto a handrail with a full grip. So you walk wide, you walk with purpose, and you trail one hand along the wall. You are a tank, not a tightrope walker. Wide base, sensory input, anchored gaze. You will arrive at that bathroom safely every single time. Now, I need to address the elephant in the room. The reason people ignore all of this advice. The reason they jump out of bed and sprint to the bathroom in the dark. They are afraid of wetting the bed. I understand. I genuinely do. The urgency feels overwhelming. The embarrassment feels unbearable. Your brain tells you that nothing matters except getting to that toilet in the next 5 seconds. So you launch yourself off the mattress and run. But I need you to hear me clearly. A wet pair of pajamas dries. A wet mattress can be cleaned. That is a problem measured in minutes. A broken hip from a fall is a problem measured in months and years, if you survive it at all. Let me give you the math. If you wet yourself, you spend 15 minutes cleaning up and changing clothes. If you break your hip, you spend 3 to 6 months recovering from surgery. You spend weeks in a rehabilitation facility. You may never walk independently again. You may never return to your own home. The data from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons shows that 40% of seniors who fracture a hip never regain their pre-fall level of function. 40% permanently lose independence from one fall. 15 minutes of embarrassment versus permanent disability. That is the real equation. And yet people choose to gamble with their lives every single night because no one has ever framed it to them this way. If nighttime urgency is a frequent problem, talk to your doctor about it. There are treatments and strategies for overactive bladder. But in the moment, at 3 a.m. when the urge hits, your job is to be slow. Be deliberate. Be a tank. The toilet will wait 45 seconds. Your skeleton will not wait for a second chance. Let me walk you through the entire protocol one final time so it is burned into your memory. Your bladder wakes you up. You open your eyes. You do not move. Step 1. Sit on the edge of the bed, feet flat on the floor. Pump your ankles up and down for 30 seconds, 15 pumps minimum. Squeeze your fists at the same time for extra blood pressure support. Let the blood return to your brain. Step 2. Stand up beside the bed. Do not look down. Find a vertical line, a door frame, a window edge, a strip of light. Lock your eyes on it. Wait 5 seconds. Let your balance systems come online. Step 3. Walk with your feet wide apart, shoulder width, like a cowboy. Trail one hand lightly along the wall, fingertips only. Feel your way through space. Move deliberately. Arrive alive. 45 seconds. That is the total cost. 3 steps. No equipment, no expensive gadgets, no renovations. Just knowledge that trauma surgeons and physiotherapists have used for years, and that should have been given to you the day you turned 60. But instead you got a nightlight. Perform this protocol tonight. Not tomorrow, tonight. Make it a habit. Within 1 week, it will become automatic. You will not even think about it. Your body will simply do it. Sit, pump, stand, anchor, walk wide. And every single morning you will wake up on your mattress instead of on your bathroom floor. This is not about being old. This is not about being fragile. This is about being smart. Surgeons are not careful because they are afraid. They are careful because they understand the stakes. Now you understand them too. Start tonight. Teach your spouse. Call your parents. Share this video with anyone over 60 that you love, because the fall that changes everything has not happened yet, and now it does not have to. Now we want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced dizziness when getting out of bed at night? Have you or someone you love fallen on the way to the bathroom? Share your story in the comments below. Your experience could save someone else's life. And if you found this video valuable, hit that like button and subscribe. We have more powerful health tips coming every single day, and the next one could be the video that keeps you independent for years to come. Thanks for watching.